This is the risk of sharing a hot take. You might be really, really wrong. Now, I don't think that the founder of Stan Store, John Hu, is going to necessarily be canceled for this. I think most people do agree with him, but I disagree, and I can prove why I'm right. So, John went on LinkedIn, and I'm like struggling to get my words together because I'm so passionate about it and I'm trying to like be professional on YouTube. But John went on LinkedIn and said that you shouldn't worry about your ideas being stolen because if someone else is able to out execute you, then they deserve that idea and not you. I don't know anything that is more rooted in the white supremacist patriarchal model of our capitalistic system than that statement. And this is a guy who, he's Asian, he went to Stanford, like a mixture of some privilege and a lot of hard work and a lot of grit. And he has a great idea. Stan Store is a platform that gives you a smooth, easy to use landing page to sell your digital products. Is he the first person ever to come up with an idea of a landing page? No. Is he the first person to come up with an idea of selling digital products? No. But he positioned his company towards the creator economy. He positioned his company towards people who might think that their only channel of revenue would be brand deals or affiliate marketing, not necessarily creating their own products. And those same people that are using Kajabi, that are using Teachable, and all these platforms that might be a little bit more robust than what they need, Stan Store is that perfect blend of all the bare bones necessities of what you need to scale with digital products, right? So he's just doing something better, not necessarily first, and he's positioning it to the people who need it the most. So that's what makes Stan Store great. He's gotten amazing investors, two of which you'll know, which is Stephen Bartlett from Diary of the CEO, and now Gary Vee, which is huge, right? They only show up when something's basically a guaranteed success at this point. So when he came on the internet and he has somebody following him around with a camera and he's building a personal brand and he says, hey, I'm worried about somebody stealing my idea. And he goes, you should never worry about anybody stealing your idea. You just need to out execute them. He like almost had me, like I thought I was going to agree, but here's why I disagree. This doesn't make sense because we all know ideas actually get stolen. They get stolen after you've executed them. They get stolen after you've trademarked, after you've copywritten, after you've done all of the things, after you've checked every box. They still get stolen, right? Now, as soon as you add a race intersection to this conversation, a gender intersection, then the examples become way more obvious. But let me give you an example that is the most famous, and that's McDonald's. McDonald's was founded by the McDonald's brothers, but stolen by Ray Kroc. Yeah, Ray Kroc, okay? McDonald's was giving farm burger back in the day. For all of the Atlanta people, you'll know this reference. Like, it was like organic beef, real ingredients. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Like, you know, now McDonald's is scaled up and to such a global scale that no one feeds more people on the planet than McDonald's. No one. But that's not the McDonald's brothers doing, right? The McDonald's brother partnered with Ray Kroc to help scale the business. They wanted to scale with their values. They wanted to scale with the right ingredients, with the right people involved, and they wanted to do things right. Ray Kroc wanted to move faster and he wanted to make more money and he wanted to implement more processed foods. And this was right at the time where production was increasing, processed foods was increasing, and we were mind blown that you could have a milkshake without having to store milk in a refrigerator. We were mind blown that you could have food that like didn't go bad, right? So at the time, it was really exciting for people, for salesmen, for business investors to get in on this stuff. And they couldn't have predicted, and even if they did, I don't think it would have stopped them, like the impact of processed foods would have had on our health, on our public health. But let's put that to the side. literally how Ray Kroc got from underneath them was by trademarking their name, because it was the McDonald's brothers, that was their last name, before that they could trademark it, even though it was their business, even though it was legally established. Because he went on the national level with the trademark, he took their name, so they couldn't trademark their name. That's something that I'm not sure you'd be able to get away with now. And he went, and they basically couldn't fight him in court. He paid them $1 million cash. Think about what McDonald's is worth now. That is chump change. They didn't get equity, and they didn't have the legal support to fight him on it. The thing about business and ethics is that you have to understand what's legally allowed is only there because someone fought for that, for better or worse. It's just there because a lawyer fought for your right to be able to do that. So sometimes it's bullshit. And, pardon my French, but sometimes it's the right to own human labor for free, right? Like, and then sometimes it's to fight against like hair-based discrimination, which is really race-based discrimination. But at the end of the day, every single right that we have that's enforceable is because a legal team went and fought for that. So if someone is able to steal your idea and not go to jail for fraud or copyright infringement or not be fined, that doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve the idea or that they're right to do that. It just means that there was nothing that you could do to stop them. So should you be afraid of someone stealing your idea? No, because fear is the antithesis of creativity and curiosity and solution and coming up with ideas. So you shouldn't fear it. However, as soon as you have two nickels to rub together, you should absolutely officiate everything that your business has going on. You should absolutely be copywriting your stuff. You should have a legal entity established and go and start protecting it on a deeper level and get the counsel of a lawyer in your industry to make sure that you're protected, right? You should anticipate the reality that people do steal ideas, and they don't just steal ideas, okay? They will steal your intellectual property. They will steal your relationships. They will cut you out of deals, right? And so that's why you can't work with people for free when you're doing something that's really moving the needle in their business, even if it's a $50 logo. Like this famous example of Nike paying a student to draw that logo, and look how famous it is now. It doesn't matter where you are in your business growth. If you're doing something for another business and it's created an impact for them, and it's an asset that they're going to use, it's an idea that they're going to run with, make sure that you're getting compensated. Make sure that your business is protected so that if you got to hand out that cease and assist and if you got to take them to court, you can handle that. Because it is so easy for a big corporation to just say, well, this is ours now, and there's nothing you could do because we can outrun you in the court system. Like, that's what goes on in the small business space. And that's why we champion small business. That's why we talk about the importance of small business so much, because they really are vulnerable, especially when they're coming up with ideas. You know what I'm saying? So to say that someone can out execute, it's not a skill issue. Out executing often means that you out earn them, you out privilege them, right? You out relationships and connections, like the other person, right? Like this metaphor didn't land as smoothly as I expected, but you get what I mean. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best one to bring the idea to life. Now, I do believe that ideas belong to a higher consciousness. And I do believe that ideas are something that we all share in a way, in this shared consciousness kind of way. And I can have an idea that I'm sitting on and not doing anything with and haven't started anything with. All of a sudden, somebody in my network comes up with the same idea on their own and executes on it. And maybe that's what John was really talking about, is like we all can come up with this idea, but at the end of the day, the person who's willing to do it, the person who's willing to go and take the risk wins the bid, in a sense. Yes. And also, there are very real use cases. It is very common for people to steal ideas, and you should absolutely protect yourself from that so that your hard work isn't for nothing, especially when you have something that's proven and has built traction. So that's my take on that. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever had to deal with a legal issue like that, if you've ever had to defend your trademark or defend your copyright, and share your experience. And what do you think? Do you think that stealing ideas is a thing, or is it just like every man for himself?